Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Town Board of Newcastle. The board has been in executive session. I'd like to ask for a motion to open the work session.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are going to start off today with a presentation, an update on a former presentation on the 9/11 Memorial at Getty Park. And we have Michael Wolfenson here to present a plan for us. So welcome, Michael. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to hearing about your plans and the update.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me. So for starters, you have a package on your desk here that just sort of shows, it's a little tough to see. I'm going to show you different visuals in a second. But just to let you know where we are, when we originally started, we had a $30,000 budget. Excuse me, we had a $60,000 budget, and that was going to be budgeted over the next 2 years. And our meeting, 25 and 26, with the goal being that we would complete the project before the 25th anniversary, which would be September 11th of 2026. In doing all the work we did on that, we realized that because of the budget, we could only really do the waterfall and the fountain. So that is really where we put most of our time and effort. In regards to the fountain itself, in regards to the waterfall itself, we were focusing on redoing the whole thing, taking away the PVC piping, bringing it up to date. We are using the existing pipes and stuff, but we're changing all the pumps and everything out. We've been working with Ike and we're working with other people in maintenance to make sure that we have a pump now that's large enough that when all the leaves get sucked in, which is a big problem before, it'll just shred them and recycle them back. So we will not have that problem anymore. The fountain itself, the waterfall itself will be exactly where it is. It's just going to look, again, very rustic, as if it was a natural forming element. Where, to me, the more exciting part is the fountain. As we all know, the fountain is not adequate. It was stones with broken pieces all around it, and our thought was to mimic the World Trade Center Plaza area. We are going to put each building that was on the site itself in black granite about 8 inches high. So from the ground, it'll be about a total of about a foot high. Then where the two World Trade Centers are, we'll have a void, much like there is downtown, and then we would have a fountain coming through it. Now, that was our original plan, and then in the center of that, where I guess if you remember the old site where Koenig Sphere is, we would have an overflow drain as well in case of wind or anything else. Again, we're going to be using the same lines that are already there, and we're just going to be upgrading the pump. That was our plan. About 2.5 weeks ago, I was able to secure another $60,000 for the project from Senator Harkin's people, which now gives us the ability to really do the full-blown, the whole entire memorial, which is what we are working on. We were supposed to have a meeting today with the town engineers and with some other people from Park and Rec to sort of figure out what else we want to tackle. But one of the things that we're definitely going to do, which I think is really exciting, is instead of just having a single spray come up, we were going to have 5 sprays come up from the void, and then it would be lit. So it would look like this. And the beautiful thing about this is the fact that we can use LED lights. So for example, during the week of 9/11, we can make that blue. So you can actually be driving by and you'll see these fountains with the colors. So for us, that was kind of a really exciting thing. And I think that is just going to look really pretty.
How high will those fountains shoot?
Again,
All of it's gonna be that height?
yeah,
Okay.
it's never going to be more than 3 or 4 feet. It's just, again, the whole thing is to be understated but nice. And that's always been our goal. So as far as the updates go, we're very excited to have the extra additional funds. We have also been working with the beautification committee, with the conservation committee, with town residents as well. We did a small planting a little bit in September of some people that had, local town people from the pollinator pathways as well, that had their actual leftover plants that they were splitting that we're able to add. The goal of the project is to really make the park itself self-maintaining. So by that is, if we use all native plants, it's going to be very easy to maintain. Our whole goal is to make it self-sustainable, if at all possible, and we'll get pretty close. And we've been working with Ike to do that because, again, we don't want to fall into disrepair again. And we certainly don't want to have maintenance have to become an issue for it. And we understand town budgeting and everything else, and we don't want to have a lot of money spent on that. So we're very cognizant of that and really trying to focus on that. So that's the direction we're going. And I guess the question is, if that's really horrible, then say something now. Otherwise, we're going to move forward with that direction. And the next step we're going to take is, we've gotten a couple bids already for certain things. And I know we've been working with Rob Deary as well, but how that process has to work and what we would need to do for that. And then we are also going to, again, we were supposed to meet today because of the weather, it didn't work out. So we are going to figure out what else we think we can accomplish with the extra money that we have. And if anyone has any suggestions, whoever, we want to hear them.
When does the grant money come in?
I'll defer to Rob for that.
And do they have a matching grant, which hopefully we've met with the budget?
Typically the SAM grants are not,
There's no matching.
Oh, the
SAM
SAM
grants are
grants.
typically, it's a DASNY, I don't know if it was SAM or CREST, but both of those programs are typically not matching.
Right.
Those are some of the discretionary funds that the assemblymen and the senators have to assign, so that's great news that we got the additional 60,000. Our office will work with the senator's office to confirm the details, but yeah, typically that's just an award. We recently received the motorcycles and some of the other CREST grants, the heat pumps at the train station, so there's no match there.
Okay. That's good news.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
If there are any questions, I could try to answer them if there are any.
I had a question.
Sure.
This sounds really like symbolic and meditative and really beautiful. So you said the 5 sprays.
Mhm.
I apologize for asking, but is there a particular symbolism of the 5?
No, it just looked the nicest,
Okay.
because you're gonna have one in each corner. Basically, in our mind, I shouldn't say
Oh,
that.
I see.
They're gonna come up from each corner, so it's gonna actually form like a column almost, so it might actually look like the towers, I guess that would be the reasoning.
Okay.
And the one in the center, it just is, it's just sort of pretty. I mean, there's no real, I mean, I know we wanted to make the columns out of water, that was part of it, but the center one, I think it's just kinda nice.
Okay, yeah, I just thought maybe I missed something and
No.
I just wanted to appreciate it fully.
I love how passionate you are, and I know you put in a lot of time and effort the first time, and now to get it to where you originally wanted it to be, so I'm really appreciative. And I love that you're collaborating with so many of the groups in town. You know, we honored the members of the community who have worked so hard on Pocket Park. That's such a focal point for our community. Everybody loves it. Everybody has their own special things, what Pocket Park means to them, and I have a feeling that this is going to be like that for our community as well. Like Holly said, meditative, reflective, a place where our community can go and just have a moment. I'm curious, did you budget for additional benches? Is that part? I know you and I had talked about that.
We had talked about the benches, and the original benches that we want are just not worth the dollar amount that they are now. They're like,
Yeah.
originally, when we were gonna put them in, I think they were like $16,000 a piece, and that was back in.
Yep.
So what we did think about
That's
was,
insanity.
yeah, well, but now they're like 25.
Okay.
So what our thought was to maybe do the same round benches again, but instead of being 8 feet or 15 feet, maybe there might be 3 or 4 feet. And then get a couple of those around. Again, we're still pricing everything out. To your point about the community though, the original thought behind the memorial when I first started trying to put it together, and I just kept saying the same words over and over again, it's about the spirit of unity and community. And the whole point was never the whole point of it was to focus on how people felt the days after 9/11 and not 9/11 itself, which has been so lost that maybe this will bring people back to that. And that was really the whole intention, and we intend to keep that same theme going through the whole thing.
It's a worthy cause.
Sorry?
It's a worthy
Oh,
cause.
thank you.
Yeah, Michael, this has been obviously such a labor of love for you, and it shows. And I'm just so impressed and amazed at how you've stuck to this for such a long time. You know, especially after the first iteration, it wasn't quite right, and a lot of people would have just given up after a number of years, but you have stuck to it, and I think that passion and that love for what you're doing is gonna translate into
I hope
the
it does.
feeling that emerges from the place.
And it's very nice to have the board support as well, obviously, because it couldn't be done without the board, so.
My brief words will say, it was never about you, you never made it about you.
True,
but
and it
thank-
isn't.
No, it's not, I'm saying, but thank you.
You're welcome, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, the 9/11 service, it's just such a beautiful spot to sit and contemplate. It feels very meaningful over there, it already does, but you're just gonna elevate it that much more. And I do love that it's on that side of town, and I do love that you can see it from the road. So it's special in numerous ways, and you've really been at the helm of that, so thank you.
You're welcome, but it is truly a labor of love. I feel very passionate, to say the least.
So what do you think of timing? Do you think you can make all this
Our
happen
goal
for
is to get
the
it-
25th anniversary?
That's the goal. I mean, we're moving ahead. We have plans. We have, I know we have bids out on certain things. We're working with Rob to make sure that that's all done, in accordance with town law and everything. So, we hope to put shovels in the ground early enough that we can get it done. So that's the goal, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And great work on the grant.
Yes.
That's
That
amazing.
was a coup,
And thank you to Senator Markham.
yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, Rob, we're ready for administrative items.
Kind of a short list tonight, which is great. We have the retroactive payment of claims for checks dated November 21st, 2025. We have the authorization of final acceptance and payments to Weatherproofing Technologies. That's for the DPW roof restoration project. The amount of that is $52,576.96, and that will complete that project. We have the authorization to approve land surveying services for the property line, right-of-way, and topographic survey. That's needed for the Newstat Lane culvert replacement. We're going to award that to Beatty and Watson, the low bidder, at $10,305. We have the authorization to release the maintenance bond for the sanitary sewer and water main improvements up at Chappaqua Crossing. That's in the amount of $130,000. We had a 2-year maintenance bond to make sure once the sewer and water mains were installed that everything worked as it should. That time period has expired, and Bob Cioli has recommended the release of the maintenance bond. Similarly, the release of the maintenance bond for Roaring Brook Road and Bedford Road. The intersection improvements, there was a property on the corner there that there were concerns that the stormwater could have negative effects on his property based on the construction there. So they also had a 2-year maintenance bond in the amount of $8,000. Their concerns, I guess, were unfounded. There were no issues, and Bob again has recommended the release of the $8,000 bond. And finally, we have the authorization to purchase Gould's 3755 pump for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant. There were 2 of these pumps. One was replaced several months ago. This is the other, the amount $47,998. There's a primary pump and a backup pump. That's why there's 2 in case of failure to one of them. It's integral in the water treatment process. These pumps were original to the treatment plant in 1993, so they do need to be replaced now. And that's it for the administrative items.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Any questions before we adjourn? Okay, so I'd like a motion to adjourn the work session and to open up the town board meeting. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're now officially at our town board meeting. Rob, do you have any announcements?
No announcements, no.
Okay, and for the supervisor's report, I would like to remind everyone that we have an exciting program coming up this Thursday, December 4th. It's called Letters from Anne and Martin. We'll be at the Chappaqua Performing Arts Center at 7 p.m., December 4th, Thursday. Please go and register. It should be a very powerful theatrical performance on letters written by Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr., obviously 2 very different time periods. But it will be very interesting to see what the performance brings out. So we hope people attend. And it's sponsored by the Committee on Inclusion and Belonging and the Holocaust and Human Rights Committee and the Really Enough Club. Then the next day, this coming Friday, we have two very special events. We have another mural reveal under the bridge, which will take place at 4:30. It will be very exciting. You'll get to meet the artist, Mara Van Fleet. The subject matter will be very, very moving and beautiful. I suggest you bring your family, bring your kids. And it'll be just an exciting part of what our town is doing to bring vibrancy and art and joy to the downtown Chappaqua Hamlet. I want to thank the Arts and Culture Committee and Jen Klein for leading the charge, along with all the committee members. Jen is the liaison to the committee and has been very active, so thank you, Jen, for all of the efforts. It's really been a lot. We have 3 murals now, and this is the 4th one, and there are three more to come, 3 big ones. There are four,
spots,
sorry,
yeah.
yeah, 4 more spots. So it'll happen at 4:30 on Friday, and am I forgetting anything about that?
Well, I do want to note that it's going to be kind of cold on Friday, so people should dress warm and be ready to drink hot cocoa under the bridge. And it's going to be the kickoff to Wine Around Town, so you can start your Wine Around Town under the bridge at the reveal and then sort of wander through the stores and have wine indoors. So you can get toasty in the stores.
Right, so it should be a really exciting evening and you'll get to enjoy the lights. Thank you to DPW for doing a great job with the snowflakes and the light poles are wrapped really nicely and it looks great.
Yeah, and a thank you to Dennis Corelli as well. He's been the coordinator with the company that sets up the lights. So yep, DPW put up the snowflakes, but Dennis was a big part in organizing the contractor to put the lights around town.
Okay, so please come down, shop local, support our local merchants. They're all here for you and we'll be ready on Friday. That I think is it for my supervisor's report. Does the board have any
Can I just tack
other?
on one extra thing, because you were talking about the other mural spots, on the other side, where we've already sort of put out a request for proposals for new artists to think about what they'd like to put in those spots. So the Arts and Culture Committee is accepting applications between now and December 31st. With the intention of having our next reveal in June, and it'll be warmer then. But we have those 4 other spots on the other side available. So looking forward to that.
Okay. That's it. Okay, Rob, do you have an administrator's report?
Yeah, I do have an update on the Con Ed gas line work they were doing on 117. That is done for the season. It looks like they've finished the gas line work, and they put, I think, just a single top coat layer of paving there. I think there's still some plates out there. They unfortunately, due to the temperature and the weather, they'll not be able to fully pave that till the spring. I guess that was the anticipation. But that work is done. There should be no further closures there.
Okay, good news.
Yeah, and an update around town hall, we did talk about a couple weeks ago, the phone system, which is the never-ending project for Walter, Dan, and the town staff. It looks like December 9th we'll finally switch over to the new phone system. This was delayed about a month from when we last tried it, but there were some kinks getting everything in order, but we think we have it now.
Okay, and that shouldn't affect anybody calling in.
Won't affect anybody from the outside. We just get a few more features on our phones and newer phones and hopefully more reliable. From time to time, we have had outages with the phone service, so hopefully this will correct that problem.
Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you, Rob. We've reached public comment period, so anyone with a public comment, seeing that there's no one in the audience for public comment, is there anyone online? No hands are raised, okay, so we'll close the public comment period and we will we have a few public hearings. So we will open the first, which is the 2026 preliminary budget. And we'll have a quick, or not so quick, I don't know, presentation by Carl Schlegel, our town controller.
Doesn't feel
Carl, you
too
have the
well on
floor,
phones.
and don't feel the need to rush through it.
Would anyone like a physical copy or?
I would.
Sure, yes.
Go right ahead, take one.
Carl, that was a hint
Yes.
on the timing.
No, not at all.
Regular customer here.
I wanna savor this last budget meeting,
This is-
please speak slowly.
You get Carl's first meeting,
Yes.
first one without me.
Great.
All right, well, welcome to the,
Very nice graphics, Rob, were your graphics?
These-
It's nice.
I like the
they're
green.
literally the same
know.
ones.
I looked for this one.
Yes, you got that one. So I
like that one.
I told Carl that he was free to make any changes. I would not take any offense, but
Beyond some animation
That one had to
changes
stay.
and some font changes, that's
Spelled
about it.
Newcastle wrong.
I think it's just more vibrant.
There was one instance where that happened.
Okay,
You can get in some trouble like that.
It's the fat
I'm
figure.
just giving you a win.
Yes.
Sorry, can I just have a motion to open, please?
So moved.
Thank you,
catch,
Lauren,
Lauren.
that's why
So
we
moved.
have you here. May I have a motion to open the
So
public
moved.
hearing? I
Second.
have to say what it
Sorry.
is, so, even though we know, may I have a motion to open the public hearing on the 2026 preliminary budget?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Lauren.
All right, well, we're back at it again. It feels like it was just yesterday, but it was actually 2 weeks ago. So a lot of these topics are items that we have already discussed. But to just sort of go through top level view of the budget timeline, we're now at the end almost. We're here at December 2nd, the public hearing. Our last and final course will be next week's final adoption of the 2026 budget. So just to go through a little bit of an information thing, the 2026 tax cap, it's the amount that we're permitted to raise the tax levy. It's not the amount that we're permitted to raise the tax rate. And I just want to make that very different distinction. So it's not the rate per thousand of your assessed value, it's the aggregate levy. Of course, we can exceed the cap at any point. There are administrative hurdles to cross if we do so. And of course, it's not a very popular thing to do with the public to do so. And this is the 15th year the tax cap has been in effect in New York State, and Newcastle remains one of the few municipalities, particularly around here, that has never had to exceed the tax cap. When I talk to our peers, they are still very surprised that we have not had to. Most of them have had to do so at least once, if not multiple times over the years. So it's a point of pride that we have that through very careful and considerate budgeting that we have been able to avoid the need for dramatic increases. Just a little more of the actual technicality that goes into calculating the budget. It's the lesser of 2% or inflation. No one will be surprised to hear it's 2% this year. Then in addition, there's a tax based growth factor, which varies based on projected tax roll changes. Ours this year was just over 1%. It's never very large. But when you do the full calculation, you'll see that we were able to increase the tax levy by about just shy of $900,000, $891,000. And we utilized about $37,000 less than that in the budget that's currently before you. So the next slide is just the actual mathematics behind that, showing that there was still about $37,000 under the cap that was allowed. Moving into the next slide, just a historical look at what our tax levy has been. You'll see that while the levy jumps have kind of been all over the place, the cost of doing business, cost of government, salaries, employee benefits in particular, continue to increase over the years. We've seen increases in our tax levy from about 20 million up to where we stand for next year at 25.6 million, and levies ranging somewhere between 1% usually up to a high of 3.6%. This year we are at 3.45%. Just a quick budget summary of all the appropriations and the revenues across the various accounts. I won't dig into this in particular. I think we've dug through this through each and every department already. A breakdown of all the funds, you'll see the largest far and away is the town, general, and highway, which is 66% of the total budget, followed closely thereafter, not so closely thereafter, by the water district, with 20%, refuse at 8%, and then the various minor funds varying between 1 and 3%. When we talk about major funds, we do talk about those four: the A, the D, the W, and the R, or the S, W, and the R. Those are the four major components. The rest are minor components of the government. Key revenue sources, and again, these are items I feel like we just touched on in my fiscal update. They are pretty much the same ones we'll talk about here. County sales tax, we're projecting increase that should be county sales tax. I'm sorry, 150,000. That should be 150,000, not 1.5 million. That again, the 4.9 million is consistent with what we received historically last year. It's what we're on trend to receive this year, and we're being pretty conservative in that projection. As I said at my fiscal update, I think other governments have gotten into trouble by over projecting what they get through sales tax, because you can increase your budget pretty easily that way and not increase your property taxes. But if that number doesn't come in where it needs to be or fails to grow as quickly as you expect it to be, you're left with a pretty sizable hole you need to fill somehow. State aid through the mortgage tax remains unchanged at about 950,000. Again, conservative and consistent with about where we've been. Parking fees, increase of $75,000 up to $750,000. Building permits up to 1.2 million, up from 1 million. Concession income unchanged, and summer camps up to 700,000. Again, these are all topics that we've discussed. We are currently overperforming what the budget projections are, and we think these are conservative with where they'll be next year. Highway fund chips up to 450,000. That is, I believe, where it is this year, after we amended the budget, and we exceeded what was originally anticipated. The water fund general water sales increasing. This was decreased last year, and I think this is more accurate with historically where the number has been. And we've seen a rebound in the last few months, so I think that should be, again, a rather conservative estimate. And the water sales was and bill are just, again, a proportion of that number that are within the budget.
Just to point out, in the water fund also, we talked at the budget meeting about an increase in the water rates this year. So it's not something we do annually, but it is something I think we last did it 3 years ago. And we need to do this to with the underway, and quite a few more planned for the next probably 3 to 5 years. So the rates, I think we suggested a 10% increase. If we were to do it each year, we would probably take about a 3% each year, but we don't. We do it every several years, so there will be a 10% increase in the actual rates.
And is that amount in line with past practice?
It is, yep.
Okay.
Mhm. And it's also, that's a really difficult number to predict, the revenue coming from water sales. It's totally dependent on the weather. So if you get a dry summer, you're going to really exceed your revenue goals. That's certain. We have a couple of golf courses in town, big users, and some of the bigger properties that use irrigation for their landscaping. They use a lot of that when it's dry. Conversely, when it's a lot of wet weather, the sales kind of tank. So it's kind of a guessing game. It's really hard to know that. Again, we're generally pretty conservative in what we recommend as the revenue targets in that line, and the water fund's been healthy for many years.
Yeah, I guess that's why it's good to do it every 3 years, because you can get an average and even out.
Yeah, we take a look at that.
Yeah.
All right. And then finally on the refuse fund, compost and mulch sales, consistent with how we've seen that outperforming, we're recommending an increase up to $60,000. That would still be below what we had this year. And I believe in our last quarterly update it was $80,000, but again, we're recommending a more conservative approach to it with $60,000, and yard waste remains unchanged at $30,000. And again, just to graph it all out for historical trends, you can see that sales tax has been one of the few that have consistently risen over the years, and dramatically so since 2018. Part of that was the ability to levy sales tax on the internet purchases. That was a big boon, but really the amount is just component of the county sales tax sharing agreement. So we have very little control over it. And again, it's one of those things that fluctuates and we really can't predict too well. So we are, again, recommending that we remain flat with it. Revenue breakdown across all funds, you'll see that real property taxes account for about 50% of all revenue. Next behind that is metered water sales at 17%. That's the majority of the revenue in the water fund. And then behind that you have departmental revenue, sales tax, and various other uses. Key expenditures for 2026, again, items that we've discussed, health insurance, about a $500,000 increase across the various plans for health insurance. New York State retirement, we're seeing a dip in, but it is still a large cost across all of the funds at nearly $3 million annually. And workers' compensation saw a slight dip in the payments for that, but still sizable at $344,000. Debt payments, these are the outstanding debt. This does not include the debt that we are yet to issue. At that point, that will be considered legally liable debt. But this is just the outstanding debt that we owe each year. Next year we'll owe $1.6 million in debt and interest payments across all funds. Our liability insurance, we are hopeful that it will remain unchanged next year. Is that?
So we are hopeful. We had, back in August, the board will remember we did switch carriers. Our insurance agent, RJ Impastato with Foe & Son, was able to, for many years, we didn't have competing quotes, and this year we actually got two other competing quotes. One that we ended up not following through with because the indications were that it was not going to be in line price-wise, but after receiving another 40+% increase from our incumbent over the prior year, we actually got a new insurer, Tokyo Marine, to come in, and the rate was actually $50,000 below what the rate was for 2024/25. So we are hopeful. Our claims trending year to date is they're favorable right now, and that has a lot of influence as to what happens to the rates in the future.
And then legal expenses represents a decrease in the special projects that we anticipate hourly billings on. Within the individual funds, highway and road paving, we're seeing an increase consistent with the increase in the CHIPS funding, $1.45 million. Salt is remaining unchanged, as are the brush and tree work. Salaries for snow removal, we are increasing slightly up to $200,000. Within the water fund, items that Rob kind of discussed earlier, the cost of water is a big part of that from the water fund. However, we believe part of that will dip from the New York City supply. That's mostly, I believe, is that the excess cost there?
Yeah.
So that's mostly the excess. Water plant operations, that's the Veolia contract that I believe we just renewed for a multi-year period. That is the contractual cost for that. And then electricity, of course. Cost of electricity is not going down for anybody, so that is increasing at the water treatment plant.
Carl mentions the excess per capita cost of water, and that happens. We're allowed almost an allotment from New York City as to how much water we can use in each month, and it's based on our population. It's a formula they use, and if we exceed that in any month, we get charged with an excess for that. So we're adjusting that rate based on what we've seen coming in. The water rates themselves are not going down, but it's just an adjustment as to how much excess per capita
proportion that we're seeing.
Yeah.
And then within the refuse funds, refuse collection and transfer site charges are both going up, and I believe that we discussed that at the last update as well. Those are contractual costs. Again, just percentage-wise, looking at the costs across all the funds, 53% is combined personnel and benefits. So you see what one of the largest drivers of town government is. It's tough to escape those costs and the increases that come along with that. Behind those are contractual costs at about 39%, and then various other categories. There is a contingency of $150,000 built into this budget that we leave just in case.
Yeah, that's an amount we leave where we're able to assign that, and the board will see as we get close to audit time in March, there will be a resolution coming from the comptroller's office to assign the contingency funds, and those could be for legal expenses if we go over. They could be for hires that might happen within the year that may not have been anticipated in the prior budget. When you're looking ahead, this budget, the preparation began in September, so it's difficult to know in September of one year what may happen in November of the following year. So we have always used the $150,000. The number has been a pretty good number to have. We haven't felt the need to increase it based on inflation or anything like that. So it's just certain years where we've had litigation and things, it's been used for legal expenses. Other years personnel. There could even be other expenses in that too. So.
All right, and then the costs of various services in the general and the highway funds. This is sort of just a breakdown by department that shows you if your average tax bill were. This is we'll get to the calculation on the next page, but for the average taxpayer with a town tax bill of $2,800, approximately how much you're paying for each department. Again, just an average, a nice way of breaking down the services of each department for the tax bill.
And we point out that's the tax rate, town tax bill for the general and highway funds.
Yes.
So those are the two funds that everybody in the town pays taxes on. Most people pay the residential properties pay the refuse fund. Most properties in town are in the water fund. And then lesser funds, some of the sewer districts, and some of the other drainage districts,
Fire
et cetera.
protection.
Fire protection. So this is just the portion of your tax bill that pertains to the general and highway fund.
To go into the refuse collection and disposal fees and costs, I believe that we discussed this when we discussed the fiscal update, just that the costs were going up. This also includes a rate increase in order to make sure that the fund remains sustainable. You can see a couple of years back there was a large increase during COVID in particular the collection contract, which kind of set the fund back a little bit. It's been working its way back, and I think we've reached a sustainable point now.
Yeah, so we did.
What happened in 2014? Was that when you went from twice a week to
It
once
went
a week?
right from twice a week to once a week.
Yeah.
Yep. And it slowly ramped up from then, and then you see 21 to 22. The increase there was when we unfortunately had the contract expired and we had to renegotiate a new contract. The market conditions for refuse and recycling changed drastically in that time frame. We are in 2026 is the final year of the current contract that we're on. It was a 3-year contract with 2 1-year renewals. So 2026 we'll see us go out to bid again for that. What we're seeing in the market is not anything near as drastic as we had seen before, and we'll actually hope for some competition. We've had great, I think we're very happy with the service from Sanipro over the years. They have been the incumbent for the last several contracts, and they've done a great job, but anytime there's competition, it might help with the pricing, and we did not see that last time. We actually
Zero
rejected.
competition. We
Zero.
got one bid.
Zero. We went out to bid, we got one bidder, we rejected it, went out to bid a second time and still got one bidder.
That makes you question.
Yeah,
As two former
we
prosecutors.
say that out loud, but
It
yes.
makes you question. I'm not saying there's,
No one can
but
argue
it just
with
makes you
that.
question whether it's true or not. It makes you
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I agree. We have that sense in going through that process.
There's sort of regional fiefdoms, but we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Next year we'll be telling.
Come bid, join us.
All right. To move on to fire districts, which we haven't really touched on Yet the residents of Newcastle receive fire protection from one of three different sources, either Newcastle Fire District Number 1, where fire protection is provided by the district. Everything's levied independently from the town. It's not part of our process at all. The Millwood Fire District, again, provided independently from the town, not a part of our town levy at all. And then the Northern Fire Protection District, which is a contracted service that we work with Mount Kisco on. I believe we discussed that during one of our budget meetings. We will need to work on the contract on this. It has lapsed at this point, but we are working to ensure that they still maintain protection from Mount Kisco. However, as that is provided by Mount Kisco, we have very little control over the costs that go into that, and then it is apportioned to us based on the current calculation is based on the property values,
Not the usage.
not the
Not the
usage. And we share this service with a portion of Bedford as well. Bedford has
And Newcastle Fire as well.
and Newcastle Fire as well,
They
yes.
contract separately with Mount Kisco for a small portion that they have a difficult time
Yes.
reaching as well.
So I know.
Are there similar arrangements in other areas where they don't use 100% property values, where they use
Traditionally,
a
you would
combination?
just have in my experience, you would just have a separate fire district usually at that point, which again would be independently, run. You'd have a independent board and budgets put together.
So you've never seen this arrangement
So,
elsewhere, have you?
Well, and I think Supervisor's question was, as far as the apportionment of funds, is that typical that we would only use assessed value? And it's not.
Yeah.
So we're in a consortium for the advanced life support in town, the WEMS consortium. And that uses multiple factors when determining the apportionment. Assessed value is a small portion of that. I think possibly land size. I know the call volume, which sounds like it should be the most important factor.
Right.
And unfortunately with our agreement, we don't have a lot of leverage right now. We need the fire protection and they are the ones that can provide it. So, we're revisiting this.
There's so many other relevant metrics. It could be population size,
Absolutely.
usage, call volume, as you say.
It's a little taxation without representation.
It is,
It is.
absolutely.
And when
It
you're
is.
doing a big build out and increase for the right reasons, presumably I'm not judging that, and the burden is borne upon your taxpayer who can't vote one way or another, have a say one way or another, it's just, and uses it a lot
And
less.
the property values have no bearing on the service.
No, and in fact, typically our property sizes are larger here, so there are fewer parcels in a land area. Mount Kisco's denser.
We're grateful for the service, we're not,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Usually single family homes that we're talking about within our portion of the district, which are far less complicated than commercial buildings
Yeah.
or apartment buildings when it comes to fire protection.
Yeah.
So,
True, too, yeah.
So that is something we're
We
going
could look
to
into
ask
that,
for your
maybe.
assistance.
Yeah.
So a few years back, we renegotiated a very old agreement. And again, there's not a lot of leverage that we have, but we're hoping you can help us with whatever leverage we have to kind of get
Well,
some more
it's
favorable
it's an
terms.
emergency service, it's absolutely required. And there ought to be some protection in terms of,
Great.
some limits to the amount we can be charged. Some reasonable limit, so.
okay. And again, to just sort of put it into a graphical representation, you'll see that the pink line here is the Northern Fire Protection District. The cost of that has risen the quickest of any of the fire protection districts or the fire protection services that we have here in the town. It's still less than the Millwood Fire District, but on a per parcel basis, but it has increased rapidly. And again, with very little control that we have over that.
that's probably when they bonded and then had a rebond.
That is,
Yes,
yes,
that's
that
exactly.
matches up with it,
Yeah,
exactly.
when they rebonded.
Yes. So. All right, and then this is the sort of sample tax bill calculation that I was going through before. So on the average assessed home in Newcastle of $170,000 gets you a market value this year, an increase of 0.86%. And that's just because of the change in our equalization rate to represent market value. So in total, you're looking at a change in your estimated town tax bill. And again, this is just general and highway fund of about $54. That is what we're looking at from 25 to 2026.
I'm sorry, when you have total tax levy, that includes beyond the town tax levy. 24,000 is it, would be the town?
That's the entire tax levy across all the
Yes.
all the funds, all the special districts, the general and highway fund.
But not including school?
That does not include school.
So that seems high, 24, that seems higher than I would have thought if that doesn't include school. For this. That seems, maybe I'm wrong. Because school is gonna be significantly more than that.
Oh, significantly more than that, yes. Yeah, that's the total tax levy across all the funds that we have. So that's the increase, the 3.45% is the increase from 25 to 26. And again, to sort of break down where your total tax bill is, sort of, Jeremy, kind of to your point, the school district is a much larger portion of your total tax bill. To go into the famed dollar bill slide, it's 74% of your tax bill when you break it down. The county accounts for 9.74, the town for 9.72. Again, that's just the general and highway fund within the town. Special districts 3.29 and fire district is 3.35. So while everyone writes their tax bill check to the town of Newcastle, we do not keep the entirety of it. We are a convenient straw man in that respect. To go back to debt service very quickly, this is the 10-year debt service schedule. Again, this is only the outstanding and authorized debt for the next 10 years. You can see it rather quickly dropping off after 2028 when we retire some of the bonds, and then we retire another tranche in 2023. So again, once we approve the next round of debt service, we'll have a new schedule, and we'll release that at that time. But this is what is currently authorized and budgeted for.
Carl, we had some interesting anecdotal evidence today at lunch, right? We talked to another municipality who had a lot of debt outstanding.
Yes, a much smaller municipality that said they had $70 million in debt outstanding, and I think I almost went cross-eyed.
I did too, because we're down to what?
They have huge capital projects?
They do, but it seemed disproportionate. They seem to borrow for everything.
Well, and it seemed there may be, without going into all the details, there may have been LDC debt included in that.
Yeah, I think so
Local
too.
Development Corporation debt, in which case, there's just other bonds which could have a 30-year maturity without any real asset behind it that the Local Development Corporation's authorized. It's tricky when you start getting into the LDC and the IDA territory as to who really owns the debt at that point. That's been authorized. So.
But yeah, our debt service is reasonably low for municipality. We will be issuing more debt next year, so we'll add to that a little bit, but still well within reason.
Yes. So, and then fund balance. This is just the fund balance over the years. You can see still very healthy. It has increased. It's decreased from its high in 2022, but even still, we are still very healthy fund balance. I think healthier than sometimes the auditors would like, but we are in a better situation than we could be otherwise.
Well, I like it.
I think
Yes.
we like it. Moody's loves it.
But yes, the bond ratings.
It can never be too high for them, but I will say with the amount of fund balance, if you look, when we got to that high in 2022, we began appropriating a little bit more in each operating budget because we had it. So we've used that to be able to stay under the tax cap, where some municipalities may not have had that luxury. We did because we accumulated that money. So, the auditors would definitely be in favor of a drawdown and a reasonable drawdown like we've done.
Yes. And then projecting the fund balance, again, to piggyback off of what Rob just said, while we don't have a crystal ball to know exactly what the next 5 years are going to bring, we do project and we do estimate continuing regular and responsible drawdowns of that fund balance within reason. You know, there's a certain percentage that state comptrollers or auditors will tell you that they want you to have. It's you know, at least 2 months of operating funds, you know, or you can look at fund by fund. Either way, we are projecting to stay within those or exceed those thresholds.
And I'll say that the projection here assumes no addition to the fund balance. It assumes we'll use everything that we've appropriated in each budget, and it also assumes drawing it down at a level similar to what we're doing now. So this is a forecast for several years out, but it can be adjusted.
And again, we would need a crystal ball to truly know what it's going to look like. Nothing that you've just described is something that's ever really come to fruition.
Correct, again, that's a conservative approach to it, that's almost a worst case scenario, and it's not to be expected.
Can you tell me again where the contingent fund is usually transferred? Did you mention that?
So the contingent fund is in the general fund, and so we'll do.
Or does it remain in the general?
It remains in, so what happens is, it's a book entry, so it's almost look at it as like a placeholder for $150,000, and then we'll allocate that through budget transfers that, like I said, the board gets to approve each March.
So just budget transfers in the ordinary course of, you know, contractual services, payments, or?
Yes, so there will be a memo that lays out specifically where those funds are going, because it's the one, you'll get, it should be at the meeting next week, where the board will authorize the comptroller to make any budget adjustments necessary to, for the audit. The only line that's exempted from that is a contingency fund, which the board has to specifically approve.
Okay, so it's not like we get to sit and at one meeting and say where we want that $150.
No,
Okay, to
no,
go.
that's
It
a
just
recommendation from the
gets-
comptroller
it's a
based on
Admin recommendation.
over expenditures
Over
in
time,
certain lines,
Right,
yeah.
okay, got it.
And that does it for my portion. If there are any questions or comments?
Does the board have any questions?
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Carlos, that was the best presentation. Best. Hands down.
Rob does not think
Thanks,
that's
Jeremy.
funny.
Rob is
Can't
not
wait to see you go.
Not laughing.
Touche, Rob.
We're asking for it, okay.
Lino especially appreciates that.
So,
Appreciate that one.
I'll thank, now it's transferred over, I'm actually the official budget
Wait
officer,
to see
but
what
as
the last meeting's gonna be like.
as traditional, the comptroller has given the presentation, so I, kicking and screaming, passed it off to Carlos here. He did a
Congratulations, Rob, you
You
did
did
it.
Both of you.
And Carl, congratulations, this is your first, it was very clear.
Thank you for
Very
helping
well
steer me
done.
through the process, Rob. It's not often you come into, speaking of people who are having lunch today, some of the less than pleasant stories of going into municipalities and finding that they're in less than stellar shape. That was not such the case here. And Rob and everyone, you know, Christina, Jill, town board, Lino, for what you've done. The town has been in very good shape, so it was not that hard of a seat to step into.
Yeah, we're very proud of everyone, so thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So at this time, this is the public hearing, so we asked for anyone to come up and make their comments at the public hearing. Seeing that there's no one in the audience, I'm gonna ask if there are any hands raised online for the public hearing. No hands are raised, so we are scheduled to vote on the budget at next week's meeting. So I would suggest that we adjourn the public hearing and hold the record open until, what do you think, Friday at noon?
Yeah.
Is that the typical? Okay, so we will do that.
Just written comments for Friday noon, correct?
Written comments Friday at noon. Right, do I need a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, So do I need another motion to close this public hearing, or was that?
Are you gonna close
Close
it?
it next week.
You're gonna close it next week? You can close it on Tuesday.
Well, so we've closed it and kept
Yeah,
the
so-
record open, so that was the motion.
The motion
No,
was,
no,
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 the
we
motion was
closed
to
it.
extend it. You didn't, right, so you wanna close the public, the oral comment tonight, so you can close that public hearing and just
Right.
leaving it written comment open until Friday.
So then we have to make that motion.
Yeah, I would do the motion again, so just have a motion to close the public hearing and have written comments open
Right, that
up
wasn't
until
clear
noon on
enough.
Friday. That's the
Right.
motion.
So,
So moved as to.
That's my
As to
council.
what Lino said. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now, Lino, can you advise as to how to, do I do number 2 to 5 separately?
I mean, these are all on the bonds, correct?
Yeah,
So I would, I mean, just for efficiency, I would open up all these together and consider them all as one
Okay.
public hearing and then,
That's what I like to do.
yeah, let's just do that. So, but I would just announce it for the record that you're opening public hearings for items number 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the agenda for this evening regarding the bond.
And I say what they are,
Yes,
right?
please
Right,
do.
right. So may I have a motion to open the public hearings for, in the matter of the increase and improvement of facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, in Bedford.
That should read Bedford Road Pump Station, right? It was
Okay,
truncated.
I
That should,
thought it was
that's the
For
project.
the Bedford Road Pump Station. A public hearing in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant. The public hearing in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Refuse District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. And the public hearing in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York for the storm sewer cleaner. Is that correct?
Second.
That's the sewer, the backhaul machine.
The piece of equipment. So may I have a motion to open those public hearings?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Rob, do you want to go over that, or
Carl?
would
do you
Carl
want
go over that
to-
briefly?
Come on then.
This one I do
Show.
know briefly.
Still your agenda. Alright, so yeah, we'll start with number 2. This is for the various increases to the Bedford Road Pump Station. I believe we are currently working on going out to bid on some of those. This is the one project, Rob, that we have not fully closed out at this point. We do have a good idea of what the costs will be.
So that project has been awarded, and construction actually started about 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is the Bedford Road Pump Station where we're replacing some of the equipment, the original pumps that were in there when it was first built, and replacing the generator. So they have already poured the slab for that. The contract's been awarded. I think we're installing the generator in the late fall here, and then they will finish the project up in the spring.
Matter number 3, the matter of the increase and improvement to the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle. That's the Millwood Water Treatment Plant improvements. That includes the new roof, the generator, and the fuel tank associated with that as well. I believe the all items are set and ready to go. I think they're still, are they still wiring the generator?
No,
I think they might be all done with that.
It's just about done.
Yeah, I think we were just waiting on a transfer switch to finally kick over, but everything was set and ready to go on that. And those were necessary improvements. And the first time those improvements had been made since the facility was originally constructed.
Wow, that's amazing.
So these were, especially the roof, well needed. All completed, within the budgets I believe that we had, and the bond for all 3 of those going out together. In terms of the matter of the increase and improvement to the facilities of the refuse district, in particular, was this the
This was the
facilities upgrades?
horizontal grinder.
Okay, so this was, we had discussed the compost that we sell, and the mulch that we sell, the horizontal grinder is the machinery that makes all of that possible. So this is just a large piece of machinery that the refuse district required. We already have it in use, so this is just paying off the bill at this point. And finally, for the increase in improvements of the water district for the storm sewer cleaner, that's the back truck. That was is that part of MS, we're using it as part
As
of
part of the
MS4?
MS4, we received a grant for, was it 300?
A small portion of it, this is the balance of it.
Yeah.
I believe the specific documents for the public hearing reference the entire cost of
They
the
do,
machinery. However, we will only be bonding for the net amount that the grant does not cover, which I believe again it was about $350,000 that it covered. And again, this is machinery that we have out there. We received it earlier this year, and by all accounts, I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, and it is necessary to meet the demands of
right.
it's a mandate, a state mandate, and
Yeah, the old machine
not,
was aging
optional.
and inadequate for what we
Right.
need. And this is better equipped to handle the MS4 requirements.
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, we'll open it up for public comments, seeing that no one is in the audience for public comments. Are there any hands raised for online comments? No hands are raised. Okay, so we will do the same as we did for
Well,
the.
if you wanna approve these tonight.
We do need to.
Oh, we need to-
You're not gonna
that's
keep
right.
them open
Okay.
till Friday,
We
so.
don't.
Yeah,
close
and
the public hearing.
that's what bond council has advised.
Right.
that they need to be approved.
That's fine then. Okay, so
Also,
Yeah.
just to clarify, the reason why these are going to public hearing instead of all of them going to public hearing has to do with the useful life, is my understanding of the underlying assets. So we will have additional bond resolutions next week for consideration. I just wanted to bring that up at this point.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so may I have a motion to close the public hearings that have been under discussion? Is that a good way to close it? Right.
Yeah, you can do that, just, and you can close public hearings and again, reference in the agenda, items 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
So moved as reflected by the supervisor and council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Everybody, Ron, do you wanna go ahead with the consent?
Yeah, I'll do the consent, because there are a lot of other proposed actions. Sometimes if the consent just matches the administrative items, we don't cover it again, but I will just cover this. So under the consent agenda, we are authorizing the final payment for the Weatherproofing Technologies Incorporated for the DPW roof restoration project. We have the authorization to approve the land surveying services for the property line right-of-way and topographic survey for the Newstat Lane culvert replacement. We have the authorization to release the maintenance bond for the sanitary sewer and water main improvements at Chappaqua Crossing. Authorization to release the maintenance bond for the Roaring Brook Road and Bedford Road, New York State 117 intersection improvements at Chappaqua Crossing, and the authorization to purchase Gould's 3755 pump for the Millwood Water Treatment Plant.
Okay. All right, so we will have all the proposed actions. Is there anything in the proposed actions that we ought to go over? Or is it, we're all gonna,
There's not, so the proposed actions, we discussed the personnel matters previously, and
I think we discussed
the other
everything.
proposed actions have to do with the bonding.
Okay. Right, I don't see anything else. Okay, so at this time, let's go through the resolutions.
Sounds good. I move to adopt items 1 through 5 as listed on the consent agenda.
So moved. Or second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move to retroactively approve the payment of claims in the amount of $1,449,893.75 listed on the summary AP check register and detailed voucher detail report book dated November 21st, 2025. Checks were printed and distributed to each claimant listed on Friday, November 21st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move to authorize the hiring of Mary Ann Alto to the position of part-time intermediate clerk within the police department at the hourly rate of $25 per hour effective December 8th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the hiring of the following individuals listed below for the position of recreation attendant to serve as camp staff at the corresponding rates as indicated below, effective January 1st, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the hiring of the following individuals listed below for the position of recreation attendant to serve as ski trip chaperones at the corresponding rates as indicated below, effective January 1st, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to authorize the appointment of Pam Thornton as the town appointee to the NCCMC Executive Board for a term of 2 years effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, this was
Okay.
regard to a public interest order in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. Ordered by the town board, the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, as follows, and as reflected below.
You know,
You don't have to read it.
direct, there's gonna be a lot of these. Can you-
Yeah, that's
Uh,
let
sufficient.
Nobody needs to read.
Yeah, just do the now therefore be resolved if you
Where
want to.
is that? We on the,
No, which one's up here? Because,
of this.
The order, you're saying the ordered part.
This-
Okay.
is that-
Title
this-
and the
is
order.
this up here?
Section
Is
1
this
and
up-
2, do you have to read that?
Oh, I'm sorry, got it.
Got it.
Ordered by the town board of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, as follows. Do you want me to read section 1 and 2? You know?
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
upon the
all.
evidence given at the aforesaid public hearing, it is hereby found and determined that it is in the public interest to make the improvement to increase and improve facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, consisting of various improvements at the Norwood Water Treatment Plant at a maximum estimated cost of $2,515,595. This also includes the Village of Pleasantville's 15.83% share. Second, this order shall take effect immediately.
Second. Okay. Let's see what this next
Well,
one.
Yeah, all in
You all in
favor?
favor for that one?
All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Okay, so this is a resolution authorizing the issuance of $2,515,595 serial bonds of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, to pay the cost of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York.
What is relevant to read on this one?
Just
You
go-
know, we're not going to read, we're not gonna
Yeah,
read.
you don't go to.
There's a now therefore be it resolved.
Yeah.
It's been decided.
Yeah, but I know, but look at
But then all those sections.
Yeah.
Okay,
Section
so
10?
this is essentially, I mean, this is essentially
Seems
about the
proper.
title. I mean, would it be sufficient to
You
reference
can just read
the
the title and just say motion to adopt the resolution as
Right,
presented,
so
that's
go
all,
for the title.
Great, we like
I
that.
just read the
Yeah.
title, so motion to accept the resolution
as
as
presented
presented
Yep.
for you,
for approval.
for approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
And then the other one as well.
Same for the other one. Okay, wait, okay, Jen, you wanna take a shot?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a stab at this. Public interest order in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. See below. Now therefore be it ordered by the town board of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York as follows. Section 1, upon the evidence given at the aforesaid public hearing, it is hereby found and determined that it is in the public interest to make the improvement to increase and improve the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, consisting of improvements to the Bedford Road Pump Station at a maximum estimated cost of $1,500,000. This order shall take effect immediately.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
A resolution authorizing the issuance of $1,500,000 serial bonds of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, to pay the cost of the increase and improvement of facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. See as indicated below.
I think you can do this.
We will do the same as Jeremy did.
Same thing, just do the,
Okay. Give me the language, Lino.
yeah, just motion to adopt this resolution as presented before you in your package.
Motion to adopt the resolution as presented before you in your packet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's go back around the table. Holly, you wanna take 10?
Okay, Public interest in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the refuse district in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. I move to adopt the following resolution, see below, now therefore be it ordered by the town board of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York as follows. Section 1, upon the evidence given at the aforesaid public hearing, it is hereby found and determined that it is in the public interest to make the improvement to increase and improve the facilities of the refuse district in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, consisting of the purchase of a horizontal wood grinding machine for said district at a maximum estimated cost to the district of $729,820, and this order shall take effect immediately.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. A resolution authorizing the issuance of $729,820 serial bonds of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York to pay the cost of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the refuse district in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. I move that we adopt the resolution as presented in the packet.
Second.
All in favor?
Holly, do you wanna
Tackle the
sure.
remaining.
I move to adopt the resolution titled Public Interest Order in the matter of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, as written in our resolution packet.
Now
Now therefore be it ordered by the town board of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. As follows, upon the evidence given as at the aforesaid public hearing, it is hereby found and determined that it is in the public interest to make the improvements to increase and improve the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, consisting of the purchase of a truck-mounted storm sewer cleaner at a maximum estimated cost of $612,000. This order shall take effect immediately.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, last one. I move to adopt a resolution authorizing issuance of a $612,000 serial bond of the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York, to pay the cost of the increase and improvement of the facilities of the Consolidated Water District in the town of Newcastle, Westchester County, New York. Now therefore be it resolved,
We can say as set forth in
as
the
set forth
in the
in the
resolution provided in
resolution provided in
the packet.
your packet.
That's the motion.
Okay.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we adjourned?
Okay, thank you, everybody. You may, yeah, go ahead.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are now adjourned.